Hi guys. So it's a little before 8:30. I just wanted to make sure I give some people some time to get on here. And I'm going to go over the PSAT and some good information about why the PSAT is important and how it can be beneficial to you if you truly understand what the test analysis can do for you. So with the PSAT, the official results are starting to come out, and you may see them in your child's portal if you can view your child's test information, or you will see them start to come out December 10th, posted to their actual College Board account. So when you look up this information, there's lots of detail that these PSAT scores can actually give you. And for a 9th or 10th grader, it's a great opportunity to really start thinking about what is your score looking like, also what is your AP potential. This is something that the schools actually look at the results from these and look at AP potential. So it's a lot of good information. And I'm actually going to post a link in my comments of this that will allow you to sign up for my newsletters that you can get weekly, because I'm going to send one out tomorrow with the details of what we talked about today, as well as a free analysis of the PSAT that you can go over with your child. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what that analysis actually shows you and what good information you get from it. If you have any questions that you'd like to post, I will try to help answer those as well. I did get one question about how your score should increase from year to year based on each year you take it. And I'm actually going to post a link of that in my comments as well. That will allow you to actually look at a chart that says, here's from 9th to 10th grade, what you can expect from your score analysis and everything like that. So before I start, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Tiffany Rasmussen. I was a teacher for the last 15 years. My passion is helping kids and parents understand this college process a little bit better. I feel like the more information I can share, the better. I'm not looking for anything other than really getting this information out to more parents, more students, so that you can truly have your best options when you end up in your senior year. I just want any student's paths, whether or not it's going to college or whether or not it's going to technical school or going to the military, I just want them to have their own options, that they get to have a choice their senior year on what they ultimately end up doing, and that the choice isn't made for them because they haven't prepared or they haven't set up with the right classes or anything like that. So that's a little bit about me. If you follow me either on Instagram, and I'm on Instagram at YourCollegePlansGal, and I am on Facebook with Your College Plans, and it's just mainly a way for me to share information and get the best information out to parents, and all I'm trying to do is full information. So a little bit about the PSAT. So it is taken by standard depending on your county, typically in 9th grade, 8th grade, sometimes in the middle schools, depending on the students and the programs you're in. At 9th and 10th is typically always a for sure, everyone takes it. 11th grade is actually when, if you look at your child's scores, you'll see it says PSAT/NMSQT, and that is that National Merit Score Qualifying Test. So with that option, that's in 11th grade, and 11th graders actually take it so that they can see if they could become a National Merit Scholar, which allows for some opportunities with scholarships and other kinds of information. So really practicing it from 9th through 11th grade, and then purposefully, students really have to advocate to take it during their 11th grade year. Typically, schools will test, they say, their top 25% on the PSAT. But if you want an option to take it, it's a great opportunity for practice, because anytime a student sits down for practice and sits out a test for more than 3 hours, they are practicing some of the skills that are necessary for the actual SAT or ACT that you sit down for. So some really good information that comes out from the PSAT. And I know counselors are wonderful and they go out to the classes and they give this information out. So if you don't have an opportunity to hear what they're saying at the high school to the students, this is your opportunity to kind of hear this. And like I said, I'm going to post some links in the comments when this live ends so you can sign up to get this analysis that I'm going to talk about. So one of the things that the PSAT does is it's going to be on the official College Board account. So the students make a College Board account. If they've ever taken any AP classes, they may have a College Board account already. One issue that comes up sometimes when students are trying to access their PSAT information is that there's now multiple usernames and passwords. And so sometimes you have to call up the SAT or call up College Board and make sure you have linked any old username and password. So if they've created one to retrieve their AP scores and then forgot it and then signed up again for their PSAT, sometimes it'll go on and then say it won't show the PSAT scores right away. So you need to make sure you actually call College Board, and I would advise, I always made my students call College Board and ask them to link the accounts, and then make sure you know that username and password so that you don't do that multiple accounts thing with College Board. So when you go on, they'll tell you your total score. They'll give you a score for your evidence-based reading and writing, and they'll give you a score for your math. If some of you are seeing scores starting to trickle into your students' portal, it may not be all there yet, as College Board is saying that their official release is next week on the 10th. So that is something to consider. If you don't see all your information right now, don't worry, it will be showing up on their College Board account soon enough. So when you click on that, one thing you can do is you can actually look at the score report, and there's a tab called Report Details. And that really allows you to understand how your child, and if you're the student looking at it, how you are actually testing. They will actually give you stuff that are in the green range, the red range, the yellow range. They actually really do a great analysis of your current skills on how you tested when you took the PSAT, which is great insight for preparing to take the SAT. So on this, and so you'll get a lot of information on that report details. There's another tab that you get called Skills Insight. And what that says is it'll tell you the actual top skills that you should be capable of doing in your reading, in the reading sections. And it says, here's some skills you could be working on. So it's almost like this perfect personalized assessment of a child's testing skills, which really gives you time. If you're in 9th grade or in 10th grade, even if you're in 11th grade and you're reviewing this still gives you lots of time to know exactly what to improve on and how to improve on certain skills, and know what skills you don't need to really worry about and what skills that you should be worrying about and trying to work on practicing. So it'll tell you the skills that you likely be able to do in reading, that you will likely be able to do in math, and anything else like that. So again, great analysis, great insight into what your skills are and how you can work on improving them. There's another tab called Test Questions, and it'll go through every single question that was answered. So this isn't even like an additional thing you have to pay for. When you take the SAT, you can pay, I think, an additional $13.50 or whatever the case may be to get your detailed answer and question and answer. With the PSAT, you actually have all of that detail on your test questions. So you'll see every single question, you'll see your answer, you'll see the correct answer, and you'll see a probable cause of why you might have picked an incorrect answer, and you'll see an analysis of why the answer was what it was. I mean, it is such great detail, but nobody really ever looks at it because students might get the scores back at school, and it may not be enough time to really kind of dive into looking in the full details of the score report. So that's something that each student can look at. The next big thing, it actually even shows you how many easy questions were answered correctly, what they consider medium questions, what they consider hard questions. It gives you that analysis and breaks down every question, whether or not it's easy, medium, hard, and tells you how many you got right and how many you got wrong. So it's definitely something to look at. If you want to look at you can select to look at easy difficulty, where you're answering all those questions correctly. You can select medium difficulty. Were you answering all those questions correctly? And see which types of questions you really need to focus on. What level of math? Is it your algebra in math? Is it the geometry skills in math? Is it analyzing tables? What is the actual skill sets that you need to work on? And it does this for all the English questions and the reading questions and the writing and language questions as well. So it's great analysis and free. It's all absolutely free if a student is taking it at a school. The analysis of your school report or of your student's report is absolutely free. You just have to go on and look at that. And like I said, I will link a sign up to my newsletter, and I'm going to be sending anyone who is on my email subscription list, I'm going to be sending this PDF out that tells you, it has pictures, it tells you exactly where to go, and I'm going to send it out to you guys tomorrow so that you can have it to look through and know exactly what buttons to press and how to get there and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, if you get on to, once the scores are released, which College Board is saying December 10th, once those scores get released, your information should be online. And like I said, if you log in with what you think you know as your username and password and it doesn't work, then you just need to make sure that you call up College Board and have them link any potential account that may have been something that you started before, when a student may have retrieved an AP score or something like that. So then the other thing that's a big deal this year, if your child is in Florida and they struggle passing the Algebra EOC, which is a high school graduation requirement in the state of Florida, in June they passed that, getting a certain score on the PSAT math score, and this is the 10th grade PSAT, so this is when your child is taking it in 10th grade, that they would get the equivalent score, the concordance score for passing the Algebra EOC. So that's another thing, and that's only for students that just started, are part of this 2018 2019 cohort. But I'm going to link that detail as well. So if you are in Florida, that may be something to consider if you are struggling, or if you have a student struggling to pass the Algebra EOC, understanding that students can take the PSAT and get their concordance score through that as well. The next thing I wanted to show you or talk about is the PSAT also shows your AP potential. And AP potential is something actually schools look at. And the AP potential just says, here, based on your skills, here are AP classes that you may be successful in. So it'll say ones that you might be slightly successful in, ones that you'd be really successful in. There's like a range of what they would tell you. And the thing about that is, when I recommend students taking a more rigorous course load, AP courses can be one of those things that you do want to take as rigorous course load as you can and be successful in. But picking AP courses is one of those things, because they are such at a rigorous level, they need to be at a level of what is interesting to the student. For instance, my daughter is very strong in math and science, so her AP courses are in math and science, whereas her history courses, even though she's taken some AP history courses, as she moves on to her junior and senior year, she focuses on AP courses that are going to be rigorous, but also going to be interesting for her to learn. I don't advise taking AP classes just for the sake of taking AP classes, unless you are somebody that can keep up with the rigor of how many you're taking and be successful in them without feeling overwhelmed and stressed. Because, you know, in high school, I don't want to see students getting overwhelmed and stressed by taking too many courses that aren't just to take them because they're AP. So I have, and we can, I'm going to do a live when it comes closer to knowing what classes to pick and how to pick the right classes for your schedule. But this does show, the actual PSAT analysis does show what their AP potential can be. The next thing, because a lot of kids then go, well, I don't even know what I want to study. I don't even know what I want to go to college for, if I want to go to college. And they actually have a whole roadmap to careers as part of this as well, where students can look at their scores, look at what they have been testing well at, and looking at their interest, and then actually start exploring some careers based on some questions they answer. And again, this is all through that PSAT analysis. And that PDF that I'm going to send out, remember, I'm going to link my subscription in one of the comments of this live when I post it, and it's going to give you the ability to, I have it all mapped out for you. So it's very easy to know what buttons to click and how to get around and really analyze this PSAT. So again, it gives you that whole roadmap to careers as well. And then the best part is that if you are a freshman or a sophomore or a junior that just recently took the PSAT, you can link this through satpractice.org and link it to your SAT practice, and it will tell you and personalize the practice on SAT practice based on your skills. So whereas looking at the PSAT results is going to give you that question by question analysis that is really good insight to know where your skill levels are, actually linking it to your SAT practice is going to give you personalized practice to get better at these skills based on what your PSAT results are. So they will pull in exactly everything that you just answered and how you answered it, and it will give you personalized practice. So those juniors, so now I'm speaking to any juniors right now, any juniors that have recently taken the PSAT, it's going to be the best practice you can get besides having taken the SAT recently, because the next SAT available is in March. You have got lots of time between now and March to look at what are you good at, what are you bad at, and how can you improve. And the best thing is you can link your PSAT results to your satpractice.org, and you can link any previous SAT scores to that satpractice.org as well. And again, with this analysis PDF that I have, and I'm going to send to all my email subscribers, I have exactly how to link all of that information. So if you don't really love the computers and you're not really sure how to navigate some of these websites, I have the entire thing, and I'm just going to send it out free to all of my subscribers. So again, once I post this live, I'm going to link a few things to give you more information so that it is helpful to you. And then and tomorrow morning, I'm going to send out an email blast to my subscribers that links this actual PDF analysis that I have, so that you can actually go through and know exactly what I was talking about in this live. So again, if you are in 9th and 10th grade and you just took the PSAT, this is, again, great practice. 10th graders. There was an article once, and if I can find the article, I will link it to this as well in the comments. So the article was how to take the SAT like a rich kid. And the reason this article I used to my students, and it talked about how students who were, it was a student writing it from the perspective that he had gone to a summer camp experience at a college, and he saw all these, and he had gotten a scholarship to go to this summer camp, and he saw all of these students that were signing up for this SAT kind of study hall that you could sign up for. And he's like, I'm not gonna, why would I practice that? That has nothing to do with me. We're not even taking that. I'm in 10th grade. It's between 10th and 11th. And what all these students knew was that they were gonna prepare for taking the 11th grade PSAT, because they knew that that was that national merit score qualifying test. And if they could score national merit as a national merit, either semifinalist or finalist, or even score really high on that, colleges are going to take notice. And they also knew that the higher their SAT scores are, the more merit scholarship money, potential money that you're going to get from a college. I know local colleges in Florida that have, if you've gotten a 32 or a 33 on your ACT and you've gotten a 1350 or a 1350 or above on your SAT, it gives you $10,000 a year. And a lot of the money that's going to come from college are based on these tests. Right or wrong, indifferent or fair, that's where a lot of the money is going to come. Is even test optional schools are going to look at scores and GPA on giving out merit scholarships. So the thing is, though, when Khan Academy partnered up with College Board, they wanted to give personalized SAT practice free to whoever wanted to practice. So I have seen scores increase tremendously if students are practicing it every day. It's just how much fun is it really to practice every day? But depending on your level, if you're in 9th grade, this is something to practice once every couple weeks. If you're in 10th grade, this might be something to practice once every couple weeks. But if you are in 11th grade and you really want to get options for increasing your score, because a lot of schools are going to give the juniors of this year, so class of 2020, they're going to give them a free SAT in April, in either the end of March or April, whatever might be designated as the school day. There's only a few school days that are designated through College Board, and it's going to be absolutely free. So you don't even have to pay the $50 it is to sign up. So my thought is, why not be the most prepared you can be based on using your PSAT results, based on using your SAT results, linking them with your SATpractice.org. And again, I may be talking about the SAT instead of the ACT, but that's just because I know that there is SAT school-based days, SAT days that the schools are doing. And for the majority of schools in the country, they will do the SAT on these days as opposed to the ACT. So that's just why I recommend it, because that's going to be the free test option that students are going to have. So again, I hope that I've given a good analysis of the PSAT and it hasn't seemed so overwhelming. It's a great tool. It's the most personalized, detailed tool that you could get and get insight onto how you test, what questions you really understand, what questions do you need to improve on. It's like going to pay $1,000 for someone to analyze your child's test taking skills. And again, you will not even get the same detail if you order the SAT question and answer as you do with this PSAT, because they go question by question, line by line, and tell you, here's your answer, here's the correct answer, here's the analysis of why this was the answer. So there is so much detail and it's all free. So again, I hope you enjoyed this. My goal is to share my passion of sharing this information and making this college process a little bit easier on parents and students that really want to understand. It's also about setting students up so that by the time they are a senior, they have a choice. If they want to go into the military, then maybe they've practiced well enough on these types of tests that they score really well on the ASVAB and have opportunities for ROTC scholarships. If they want to go to a technical school, they have all the skill sets that maybe they can get a business degree along with their skills so they can own the business of what they want to do. I just want students to have the choice, and I want parents to be as informed as possible. So thank you so much for spending your Thursday night watching this. I am going to repost this. Like I said, there are a few links in the comments that I'm going to share out. One of the links is to sign up for my newsletter, and if you sign up for my newsletter, that means you're on my email list, and I'm going to send out this PSAT analysis, which has pictures on it, exactly tells you where to enter stuff, how to get information, so that you can go through all of these things I was talking about. I'm also going to link for anybody that's in the state of Florida that wonders about the concordance score that's required, that if you have a student that's struggling, or if you're the student and you're struggling passing the algebra EOC, which is a high school graduation requirement in the state of Florida, that allows you to see what they passed in June for the 2018-2019 student cohort, and what scores are required for that. And again, you got lots of practice. And then also I'm going to link those parents that are wondering if their child took it in 9th grade and now they took it in 10th grade, what should the score increase be? And sometimes you may see if they got a 450 on math, you may see that they get another 450 in math, but really it's just as good or better of a score because the skill set's a little bit different on the 10th grade test than the 9th grade test. So I'm going to send you out, I'm going to link that as well for you guys to see. Again, thank you for letting me share my passion with you. The more people, I always end every post with hashtag the more you know, because again, that's my whole goal, is to share as much information as possible to make this process easier for parents and students, and to make sure parents and students are well informed so that they have choices when it comes to their senior year, and they have choices of what they get to do when they graduate. So thank you so much for joining me. And just a few minutes, you'll see this post on my Facebook page. I'm going to try to save it for Instagram as well, or I will set up a link. And then you will see those things in the comments. Again, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that joined today. And I hope you guys have a great night and a great weekend.